Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 198. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. In this show, we will be discussing the M&P 2.0 Compact and the Browning AB3 Micro Stalker. Tonight on the podcast, we have Zane, who may not be here because of hurricane wireless, I don't know, internet or something, and Rob and Tony. Well, and so what did you guys do in firearms this week?
Well, I'll be easy. I didn't do a whole lot because they had this little hurricane, was it Irma, out in the Atlantic that came up through the southern part of Florida and through my area, was it Sunday evening into Monday morning? So most of my last week was spent getting ready for this wonderful thing called the Hurricane Irma. So I didn't do a whole lot. I didn't do anything, unless you count rearranging my ammunition and making some extra room in my gun cases working in guns, you know.
Yeah, that's about what I did. Hurricane shenanigans.
Yeah. In other words, Jack.
Hurricane shenanigans.
Yeah. I did, however, try to shoot a hurricane with birdshot, and it did not stop.
Oh, did you see that Facebook thing? Oh, my God.
That's why...
Oh, that was so stupid.
That was
It's
awesome.
kind of funny. I was just worried people were
awesome.
actually going to shoot at, like, the hurricane with, like, rifles and pistols. Like, I did it with number 9 birdshot, right? Like, you can shoot birdshot in the air, especially where I'm at. My closest neighbor's, like, 6 miles away. But, like, there were reports of people shooting rifles and stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of. Some dum-dum is going to shoot a rifle into the hurricane, and it'll get carried and hurt somebody.
Right, yeah. Yeah, we just did hurricane shenanigans
Freaking joke.
all night.
Yeah. Well, you know, shooting birdshot in the, in the air, I guess that counts, right? And since your neighbors are 6 miles away, I mean, heck, it's only going to come back and hit you, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Oh,
exactly.
This just it. Shoots himself in the butt.
Famous last words.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Well, since you have that inclement weather, we had a great day for shooting Sunday. We had the Minuteman Challenge. Sean and I, Black Bag Resources, Simon Says Train, hosted the Minuteman Challenge at Range 14 on Fort Dix. We had a bunch of people come out. It was AR-15 day. So we had RE Factor Tactical IQ targets and Dead Man's Hand training cards. We pulled out some unique drills, and guys came out with the ARs. It was awesome because you had every kind of thought on what an AR should be. So you had some guys with, almost everybody showed up. After you bought your first AR, it seems like everybody builds their second AR. So it was like the guys would show up, they'd show their first AR off. Look, I bought a Smith & Wesson Sport 2 or something someone bought. And then the next thing you know, you see their Arrow Precision home build. Angelo, I think Angelo had a 4.5-pound AR that he built. We had, dude, it was so lightweight. It was ridiculous. Pencil barrel, polymer lower. So when you went to pick it up, you'd actually almost throw it in the air because you'd think you were picking up something that weighed 7 pounds and it weighed 4.5. Sean had his lightweight build out. He also had his assault weapons band AR that weighs like 15 pounds, the size of a BAR. With all the, heavy barrel fits buckstock, fixed carry and handle. Oh, that thing weighed a freaking ton. But we had a lot of guys out, and we had a bunch of fun. I think they fired about 200 rounds. So the next Minuteman Challenge is coming up really, really soon. So if you listen to us and you want to get in on it, go ahead and join the Facebook page, Minuteman Challenge, because it's coming up. And I'll go ahead and leave some hints because Sean doesn't like giving it away until at least the week before. If you own a gun, you probably have what we're going to use. How's that? Without giving it away.
Well, that pretty much gives it away.
Well, so then if you have more than one firearms, you can't participate.
Well, think about what most people buy.
A 1022.
A high point.
Nah, we're not doing 1022s. Rimfires, yeah, we did rimfire twice. So we're not doing that. Shut up, High Point.
I know what it is. It's a Glock 19.
So, what?
It's a Glock 19.
Gen
We
5.
have bolt action, semi-auto bolt actions. That's what we're going to have.
Ooh, they heard it here.
Nice.
Semi-auto bolt actions. Yeah, newfangled. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're gonna have the next one coming up soon, so join the page. We'll go ahead and give you the specifics there. But for now, we're just gonna be posting up a bunch of cool pictures from the Minuteman Challenge. It's a lot of fun, though. It is a lot more fun than people think it is. And to all you marksmen that claim that, you know, a 3-inch target at 15 yards is easy, or as one jackwagon said on the internet, I might as well poke it with a pencil being that close. Come on out. I dare you. I dare you. Come out, fancy pants, because talking from behind the keyboard is great. You talk less smack up on the line.
I'd come out, but that
dang, Cody, what you serving a man?
jersey is just not worth it.
What's not worth it?
The ticket to Jersey.
Bringing your guns in?
Yeah. I can't bring all of them.
I'll let you use mine.
What, the High Point?
I'll let you. I'll let you use my firearm. Smooth move, though. I'm trying to get me to tell you what it is.
It's still Jersey.
Hey,
it's a Mosin.
I live here. No.
Okay, I see. And as Tony said, thanks to his post on Instagram, which I seem to have plagiarized because I'm good at that. I got my SBR running again, so that was a plus. I had changed the stock and buffer tube on it, and in my infinite wisdom, I changed other stuff at the same time, so I had to go back through and figure out what was wrong with it. Well, it ended up being the buffer tube, so I don't know if it's just got some roughness in it or what the heck's wrong with it, but for some reason, it does not like that buffer tube. So I'm going to send it to Tony. Actually, the weird thing about it is I had it on a standard 16-inch, and it worked fine. But when I put it on the SBR, I don't know if it's something to do with the speed at which it's kicking back the action or anything, but it didn't like it. So I was getting jams and failures to extract completely and all kinds of crap. So
what caliber is the SBR?
It's just 5.56.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's nothing. Well, and the thing is I've had it for like 10 years, and until I switched that, it's worked flawlessly for the most part. I mean, unless it gets dirty. So yeah, I switched it back.
There's probably a nick or a burr in it, like you're talking about, and the difference in the gas system length just caused it made it rub just enough or something.
Yeah, that's what I figure, and of course my finger's not long enough to stick all the way in the buffer tube to find out. So
there's that.
I just actually pulled it off and tossed it on the bench. So I'm actually not going to send it to Tony. I'm going to send him a real one. So
wow, here we go.
How thoughtful.
Nice.
I know. I'm a nice guy sometimes. Yeah. So on to the announcement. The bandwidth sponsor is Patriot Patch Co. And because I don't know what I did with my patch of the month, I still have last month's patch of the month on. And so even though I really like the new one, I was looking for it.
Lady Liberty?
Yep, the Lady Liberty patch is pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And there are new patches for pre-order over there. You can go check them out, see what they are. I think they're probably the same ones as last time. If you want to, you can join the listener support program. Go to the Firearms Radio TV.pledge gun and gear review podcast if you want to support this show. If you want to support other shows on the network, just go to firearmsradio.tv/pledge, and you can either click on the whole network or individual shows.
Just go and support the Gun and Gear Review podcast. The other shows have enough money.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, they don't need more money. Share the wealth.
If you're shopping on Amazon, use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And Black Bag Resources has their Simon Says Train coupon code to anything purchased with that goes directly to Tony and his 2A4E diversity shoot. And
Yay!
So we're kind of into the main topic, which is none, because I was busy working on an SBR and I was busy painting a living room, so I did not do the review I was going to.
Translation, life happened.
Life happened, and I'm a slacker, and I'm okay with that. So,
and a hurricane happened for me, so I couldn't get my review done.
Right, you guys had a hurricane, so you guys are full of excuses. In fact, Zane's Block 5 review hasn't posted yet because he had a hurricane and has been doing other stuff. Even though he got me some of the stuff, he's still working on other parts of it. So
yeah, I'm totally blaming the hurricane. It's hashtag hurricane shenanigans.
That's right.
Man, it'll be December. Hey, I'm still blaming Irma for this. I can't get that because of Irma.
I figure if we get it done this week, we're doing way better than Ryan used to do.
Oh, wow.
boy, your britches are getting pretty big there, brother.
Hey, he was notorious, and he even said it. He'd do a review on the show, and then like a month later, he'd post it up. So, you know, I am looking into doing a giveaway for something for our 200th episode coming up here in a few shows. So, warn the listeners about that.
I think Tony's got a few pistol grips he'll donate.
No, I'm not going to do A2 pistol grips. No, I should probably throw one in just for good measure, because if they listen to the show, they actually know what's going on.
Hey, you want to give away Ryan's silencer?
We can't do that.
Why not?
I mean, because we can't. It's just going to be some sort of accessory stuff, or I don't know, whatever people decide to give us to give away. So I'm working on it, is all I can say. And we're on to the product spotlight. First up is the M&P 2.0 Compact. Basically, as other shows would say, this must be the Glock killer.
Yeah, right, whatever.
Exactly. It's kind of what I was saying. So what we have is their new M&P 2.0 Compact. It's 4-inch barrel. They bumped it up, so it is a 15-round magazine now.
Dude.
I think they bumped it up. I'm not sure. It might have. It has the new light, crisp M2.0 trigger pull.
The Brownell's link showing a 15-in-1 capacity.
Yeah, that's. Well, I don't know what the original M&P was. Was it 15?
Well, I'm gonna get mine out of the Safeway one.
Yeah,
the full size is 17, I think, and the subcompact is 10. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that much. Yeah, 9 or 10.
It's got an aggressive grip texture for enhanced control. It does have 4 interchangeable palm swell grips: small, medium, large, and large, so you can fit your hand. The standard low bore axis, 18-degree grip angle. Let's see. It's blah, blah, blah. Comes with 2 magazines. Stainless. It's still, you can get it in the options of no safety or a thumb safety.
No safety.
Right. In 9 or 40 Smith & Wesson.
9.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm just going through this stuff. It's got pretty much standard 1.3 dot white dot system sights. I guess I'll go over here to some other article and see what it has to say.
Blah blah blah.
I'll just
blah blah blah.
Here's my thinking on this.
Yeah, I'm hearing Charlie Brown's teacher.
Yeah, I mean, what took them so long? Like, the Glock 19's been the best-selling Glock for how long? And it took Smith & Wesson how long to come out with a similar-sized gun?
No, they had the regular M&P.
No, this is... Did they have a compact? I thought they only had a full-size and a subcompact.
I think you might be right.
No, they had a compact.
I think this is the...
They had a compact.
This
Somebody
is not
look it up because internet works.
Right. This is a
No, it's
19
compact.
Glock 19 size gun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a compact size.
Yeah.
I don't think
and-
they made this size before. I mean, I could be
Yeah.
wrong. I've been wrong before.
Yeah.
I think they made the compact. My thing is the Glock 19 and those compact pistols are usually too small for my hand, so I really don't buy them. And I'll be
Right.
honest with you, I saw the M&P 2.0 at NRA show, and I put it in my hands, and I did not like that stippling they do. I don't like my gun stippled. Just personal opinion, and it's a personal opinion.
Right. And I like them stippled, but I'm still
Honestly,
I
that
still
stuff,
don't like the pivoting trigger. I mean, other than that, the M&Ps actually fit my hands a lot better than a Glock does.
So they had a compact. It's an M&P 9C,
Mhm.
but it was a 12 plus 1 capacity with a 3.5-inch barrel. I'm pretty sure this is their first 4-inch model.
No, this is their
Yes.
first model the size of a Glock 19. That was the
Right.
problem.
And
You couldn't
what
figure
took
out
them so
why
long to
they
do
missed
that?
that boat. Have no clue. It was like
Because the Glock 19 is the
Glock
best
came out
selling
with the
Glock
19.
there is.
Glock 19 came out in the freaking late 80s.
oh yeah,
And 30
somehow
years ago.
Smith & Wesson comes out with their failure, the Sigma, which they get sued over.
Jeez.
There was a side, but here's a crazy thing. No, because everybody poops on the Sigma. No, because they talk about the trigger was horrible. The trigger was horrible on the second generation after they lost the lawsuit and had to change the trigger. The trigger on the Sigma was good to go the first generation. Once they lost that lawsuit to Glock, they treated the Sigma like their redheaded stepchild and pooped all over it. So even when they came out to have a subcompact, quote unquote, or compact, they just left the Glock 19 size thing alone. Like somehow they had PTSD over making anything even the same size as Glock. Like they didn't even have the same magazine capacity as a Glock. They just left it all of
I don't understand
what was that.
Yeah, because like the Glock 19 is kind of, in most people's opinion, mine anyways, the gold standard of a carry gun. And why Smith & Wesson did not come out with this size gun earlier, I have no idea.
And for those of you who aren't paying attention, we've invited James Yeager to be on our show from now on.
Here's the thing. The Glock 19, the Glock 19 nails that sweet spot in carry gun size for almost everyone. And companies like CZ knows it with their what is it, P10?
P10C,
Yeah, they
and
nailed
then
it.
the FN 509.
I mean, just everybody has that size gun. The Canik came out; it's in that size with their Elite. Everybody knows that's the size you go for. What was up with? I have no idea what was up with them. Even Ruger came out with their SR9C Glock 19 size, and it was like Smith & Wesson didn't do it.
Even Springfield has an XD that's right about that size, if you're into those guns.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
But everybody came out with it except Smith & Wesson. Now, I understand where they're coming from. They finally got on the money train. And there are a lot of diehard Smith & Wesson fans, like they're diehard everything fans. So, okay, they're happy we finally get the carry gun they wanted. Double stack 15-rounders instead of a 7-round shield or a really weird size compact. You know what I mean? Like with a 3.5-inch barrel or whatever it was. So you got a decent size. I'm not mad at it. I checked it out. I've checked it out twice. I checked it out at NRA. I also checked out, the M2.0. I've checked that out, both at NRA and the Great American Outdoor Show. I dry fired them all. It has a better trigger, but they're still polymer striker fired guns. So let's quit playing around acting as if you get a great trigger with any of those for the most part. The best ones are the VP9 and the PPQ from Walther. Those are the gold standard when it comes to triggers and the polymer striker fired. This Smith & Wesson is not it, or at least the full size is not it. The compact is going to show up at Tanner's over in PA. I'm going to check them out this week when they come in. Hopefully I can get there before they're all snatched up just so I can dry fire and see if I'm right. but I don't think they're going to have an outstanding trigger. I just really don't. They're already talking about the Apex trigger kit, or what is it? The Apex.
Yeah, Apex makes it.
Yeah, Apex makes something for it that you can already put in it, and I think
the Apex trigger's a pretty decent trigger in the M&P.
It's a great trigger.
It's a good trigger.
Because especially I think the Apex trigger group, they get rid of that stupid hinge trigger crap and they go to a nice straight trigger.
Yep.
Yeah.
But again, none of these triggers are horrible. I mean, I have the stock trigger. Excuse me, no, I don't. I forgot. My Glock 19 was a New York PD trade-in. And my FFL got it and went, I changed that trigger when it came into a regular Glock, standard Glock trigger. It was like, because he knows I teach classes with these pistols, and there is no way I'm going to try to teach someone on that horrible trigger pull. There's no reason to handicap a student, you know what I mean? Because I have people, I think my oldest student to date has been 70-something-year-old female that weighed like 95 pounds. I'm not having her arm wrestle a New York trigger in a Glock.
No,
but he gave me a standard Glock trigger. Learn to shoot with what you have. I mean, way too many people are trigger snobs based on what their favorite gun writer says or YouTuber that, again, shoots a lot says. So now, of course, they think they have to have the latest and the greatest lightweight trigger. Well, no. Get your gun, shoot your gun. It's not a horrible trigger on any of them.
Yeah, and the thing with a lot of the aftermarket triggers are a lot of the ones that have come out are bypassing internal safeties. So that's something you want to be aware of if you're going to throw one of those triggers in your guns. Like I don't have a stock trigger in my carry gun. I have an Overwatch Precision, but it's not anything like stupid light or anything. It's my preferred trigger face, and I'm sure they'll all come out with the stuff for this M&P, and people can put their favorite trigger in it. Because I've only shot one M&P ever. And I pulled the trigger, and I'm like, nope, that's terrible. I'm not doing it. So hopefully this one's better. And that was years ago. So, that was back with the first version.
What he's trying to say is it wasn't a Glock trigger, so he didn't like it.
Glock triggers are not my favorite triggers. They're just my favorite guns.
I'll tell you, I wasn't too keen on the full-size M&P 2.0 at NRA, and this one, I think my next Smith & Wesson is going to be the 500 Magnum Performance Center.
Hey,
now
I've shot that, and
that's awesome. I've shot that, and that's awesome. I've also fired the Smith & Wesson regular M&P and 40. These things really eat up, they gobble up the snappy recoil of a 40 that most people expect. Not bad guns at all. I mean, I'm not pooping on these guns. I think they're great. I think way too many people make way too much about triggers when you should just shoot your gun more. At least they didn't go around saying their guns had match grade triggers on them like Glock did last week with their release of the Glock 19 in Gen 5. And I think
that trigger is pretty sweet. I'm just going to...
barrel, too. So don't forget about that. The barrel's way more accurate.
Yeah, the barrel's way more accurate because Zane finally figured out how to clean a dot torture drill. He finally figured out how to shoot straight. But... I find it funny that they still have the 4 different grip sizes: small, medium, large. And
does anybody use those?
The other one?
No.
I think it becomes one of those things that just way too many options. You know what I mean? They give you options on top of options that no one really uses. But hey, it's there because there are people with different size hands like me. I have long fingers and short thumbs. It's really weird. So, but what do you call it? Small, medium, large, and large. I guess that's what they call it.
Yeah, why wouldn't they call it small, medium, large, and extra large? Maybe it's not big enough.
Yeah, right there. Small, medium, large, and large.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that 40 Smith & Wesson is supposed to be dead, but it comes in 9 and 40 Smith & Wesson.
Yeah,
it needs to die.
Unlike the Gen 5 Glock, which only comes in 9mm.
Yeah, but the 22s are coming. That's the 22s and 23s are coming.
Yeah, they'll slowly
release they are.
Yeah, because
I will say back to Tony's point. I'll say back to Tony's point about you can do work with terrible triggers and terrible guns. The second hog I ever killed, I killed with a Sigma N40. So there is that.
Yeah. I really think one of the problems, I don't know if it's problems. I mean, I'm the kid that grew up reading gun magazines from the time I was like 7. I was always leafing through them and reading them, and it was always the
reading and looking at pictures are two different things.
They are the same thing.
They are not the same thing.
They are the same thing. Listen, somebody who grew up making cave drawings, don't tell me.
Yeah, I invented this stuff. I know the difference between pictures and reading.
Listen, Ugg, as you usually tell stories on the side of your cave. So,
with like little hand figurines. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you get caught up in that gun writer crap. You know what I mean? The trigger has to break like a glass rod, and then you read over their cherry-picked groups that if you're not hitting like sub 1 inch at 100 yards, something's wrong with your gun. Take it back. If your trigger's not breaking at 2.5 pounds, it's garbage and needs to be worked on. I think we really get caught up in that too much, and you just don't shoot your gun enough. Just go shoot.
Well, yeah, and I grew up reading all the magazines and stuff too, and I swear to God, if I never read the phrase proverbial glass rod ever again, I could die a happy man.
My favorite one is carrot.
A carrot?
Yeah. Vegetables. Yeah, this breaks like a carrot.
Hey, Zane, you and I were in the Marine Corps. We've probably broken more things than most people know about. I have never broken a glass rod. Nope. Never broken a glass rod.
Well, you guys are missing out.
Rod, they kind of shatter, right?
Yeah.
No clue.
No, not necessarily. Because if you have like a little glass stir stick, like in chemistry, and you bust it, they just kind of snap, and that's about it.
Well, you got to also remember on the gun writers in the past, all those, not all of them, but in those magazines, you had to take all those reviews back then with a grain of salt because
not just a grain.
They were higher.
Yeah, with quite a bit. I mean, I'm not gonna just go turn over any gun magazine off the shelf and look what's on the back of it, and you'll understand what I'm saying.
I know.
Yeah, and
I know a lot of different people listen to the show, different ages. It just was really bad. The gun companies would host trips to introduce their new gun out to a really cool place to hunt, and then they'll let you shoot that gun. So, of course, they dropped how many thousands of dollars for you to fly first class, stay for a week at their place. And now I've read there's a bunch of alcohol and other things involved, and it was a party. And then, of course, you write an article, and it's awesome.
And if you write a bad review, you don't get an invite next time.
Yeah.
Right. And the other problem is Tony will remember this. Zane might not. Is we didn't have an internet to go look at actual reviews that people did. There was no YouTube. There's no internet. So you kind of, even though you took them with a grain of salt, you had no other idea of, was this a good gun or not?
Because, and remember, some of the best reviews you ever read, go to Wikipedia right now and look up Cult All-American or the Cult 2000.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. The future of firearms development was the Cult 2000. Oh, Dick Metcalf wrote that like he was reading tea leaves. And
just like ridiculous. The Colt Double Eagles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, double action 1911s, because that's a good idea.
With a pivoting trigger.
That's a perfect example. I distinctly remember reading gun magazines and having it in my brain that as soon as I was old enough to purchase a pistol, I wanted a Para-Ordnance LDA because the review I read on it, it was just great. And that was the gun I had picked out. And luckily, I learned some things before, and I have never owned a LDA. But, these guys but anyways, whatever.
Okay.
And my thing is this about shows like this, about shows on the internet, about guys who do reviews on the internet. Okay, there's a lot of bad. Well, there's some bad. But mostly you have guys like us who no one's paying a dime to, who will just tell you the unvarnished truth, or at least an opinion based on years of shooting different guns. You know what I mean?
And it's easier to sift through the BS.
Yeah.
It's you have it's not that it's easier, but you have so much. You have more data points that you can start to find a cluster of them, if you will. And
another advantage that we have is that like we'll do a review and then we'll do it on the podcast. And so you get different perspectives from, like, if I'm doing a review, you guys can ask me questions and say, hey, what happened when you did this? You know, and I can answer if it's something I left out or something that's just, you know, you can ask these questions. And so it actually helps with the reviews because, hey, I might have left something big out. I'll go back and fix it. Or you ask me something, I'll be like, oh yeah, it didn't like that, or
Yeah, plus
anything.
we got the guys, we have Facebook, and while we're doing the show, we also have people that can hit us up on YouTube and ask questions themselves. So it's like, it's not crazy. The interactiveness of it all is awesome. But I mean, to talk about this new pistol that's coming out, I think it's great. I think the trigger is better than the stock trigger. I mean, the original trigger on the Smith & Wesson M&Ps. But it's good guns. I mean, we're in the golden age of firearms and almost everything firearms related. You're really not going to get a bad gun from a major firearms manufacturer unless it's Remington. So,
Whoa, wow.
No,
Zing.
as I was saying that, I realized Remington has not come out with a pistol worth anything since they came out with their R1 1911.
Yeah.
All of their other polymer pistols have been a flop. They're the only ones I can think of off the top of my head that pretty much just did not make the cut with the last two entrances into the pistol market. And even, I mean, they're so bad, even Taurus can make fun of them.
Oh
Man.
Oh man.
okay.
Man.
I'm getting back to the M&P compact here. But go ahead with the question.
No, it's bringing it back to this gun. So, what I'm wondering is is it going to be compatible with full size holsters? Because this M&P, is this M&P compact going to go in full size holsters? Because that's a thing.
Probably.
Like for me, even if I'm carrying a 19 or a 26, I use a 17 length holster when it comes to the Glocks because of I like it's more comfortable for me. I don't know why I'm weird, I guess, but that's what I'm wondering with this. Is that going to be the same? Do they have compatibility throughout their holsters?
Right, and that's the thing is, I would guess that there's a good chance it will be, but you never really know. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. I'm going to get back, since I haven't mentioned it yet, I'm going to mention this, and that the MSRP on this thing, as much as I could find, is $529.99. Brownells has them for $499.99 or something
for pre-order, right?
$499.99 for pre-order.
Right.
Yep.
Which,
I don't think this was supposed to be released yet.
I don't think
this got leaked, and so Brownells was just like, well, screw it.
I think, I think so. There was enough publicity that I think Brownells finally was like, well, we'll just put it on our website and people can order them, and when they come in, we'll ship them. But when you look at it,
I got a banner on Brownells right now. It says 1 cent shipping special on anything. So, I mean, if you're wanting to pre-order one of these, maybe you can go get 1 cent shipping on it.
That's and the thing is $499, $500 for this thing is not a bad price. I mean, that's really, when you think about it, it's cheaper than the Gen 5 Glock.
Yes, it is. And after your transfer fee, depending on who you do transfers, depending on what your FFL charges you, you're still going to be coming in under. I think my buddy, the one I bought from him, I think he said he paid $570 for it, I think is what he said. So, you're still coming in $50 cheaper after your transfer fee.
Right. I mean, you figure, depending on your dealer, $20 or something. $10 for a background check and MSRP.
Let's not forget the best part about all this. The Mod 1s are going to be on sale all over the place, and the rebates and everything, because those are still good pistols. This is just the newer pistol. I find
but they don't. But this doesn't directly replace a Mod 1 though, because this is a whole different size gun.
It's
I mean,
a
I know
Glock
what you're
19
saying.
That's true.
The 2.0s in general are going to do that. And I would have no problem with an old one with a decent trigger in it, but.
And the triggers don't cost that much if you're just going to get something. They're not that much. They're not like $300-$400 triggers. So
about $100 can get you any decent trigger.
So if that's a big deal for you, fine. But I think most people can shoot it with a stock trigger. I think everybody can shoot it with a stock trigger. Just if you become a trigger snob, then you just introduce yourself to another bill. That's all.
So all triggers do is allow you to screw up more, basically. Yep. All a good trigger does is allow you to have sloppier trigger control and a sloppier grip. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you really want to get down to it. But it does help for faster follow-up shots and stuff like that. Yeah. So.
Yep. So if you want one, get one. I think it's great. I think they finally got what they needed, which was a Glock 19 size Smith & Wesson M&P. Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I'm kind of looking forward to actually seeing one and seeing what I think. But for now, I think we pretty much put that dead horse to bed.
We beat that sucker to death.
So, yep. So now we're on to the Browning AB3 Micro Stalker with an MSRP of $599.99. And okay, I'm a little confused here on their website, but I'm just going to go with it here. It is a reduced dimension, 13-inch length of pull, 22-inch barrel designed for smaller shooters. It comes with a PACMAR decelerator recoil pad, and since it's Browning, it's eligible for their growth insurance. So something about like if they grow, you can buy a regular size stock for it at some reduced price or something.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so there is that. I know other companies do stuff like that also. So there is that. Like we said, reduced length of pull. It says reduced barrel length to 22 inches. But I'm going down here, but if you go down to the items, it is available in 243 Winchester, 6.5 Creedmoor, 7mm 08, and 308 Winchester. I'm looking at the 6.5 Creedmoor going, that might be a decent rifle. They all weigh basically 6.5 pounds. They all have the same price, but when you click on these, it says the barrel length is 20 inches, no matter which one you select. So that's where I was a little confused. I'm like, well, which one is it? So I'll go through some of these. It's a short action, which you can kind of guess. It's got a 1/2-inch drop at heel. It's got a 5-inch magazine capacity. It looks like a removable magazine. It is blued. It's composite stock, so nothing's fancy there. Is drilled and tapped for scope mounts. The trigger guard is actually composite too, so I'm guessing it's built into the stock, which is typically what they do with that. It does have some textured grip panels on it. As the chamber's polished, twist rate depends on what you have. Overall length is 39 inches and 3/8 of an inch. So that's about all we have with that. I'm going to say something about these little short, lightweight bolt rifles are really quite nice, even if you're a full-size adult to hunt with, because you don't have to worry about having a longer barrel. You're not really going to kill your muzzle velocity much with the shorter barrel. The shorter length of pull, usually it's a lot easier to shoot a shorter thing unless it's like a cricket rifle or something. It is to shoot one that's too long for you. So in all actuality, even for the standard hunter or shooter, I think something like this would be a good rifle to have. Me personally, I think the price is a little high for what you get, but it is a Browning, so you are getting quality. But compared to some of the other models, like that other companies like Ruger and Savage and people like that make, I think it's a little higher priced, and they make models comparable. Okay, who's next?
Short guns are nice for maneuvering through the brush and stuff. I've just never been too impressed with Browning, to be honest. Not my cup of tea.
Yeah. My thing with this is I finally got to shoot some Brownings. I messed around with the high power. I shot over and under Sunday or Sunday before last. And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the polymer trigger. I'm looking at the polymer trigger guard. I'm looking at the cheap plastic or the plastic stocks. I'm like, the only thing you have unique is the decelerator, which is quality and everybody knows. Short rifles, I like them. I like the youth model. I have a youth model 20 gauge that I just took shooting skeet 2 weeks ago. I had the youth model stock put on my home defense shotgun because I like the overall shorter length of pull and the shorter overall size. I think it works perfectly for something like this with a 20 or 22 inch barrel. You don't lose anything really in velocity with the hunting rifle. Lighter weight, 6.5 pounds. But let me explain something. 6.5 pounds, something that fries a 308, you're going to feel it. Just letting you know.
That's why they put the decelerator pad on there.
Yeah, because I have a 6-pound Savage Axis and 30-06. Yeah, that sucked the fun right out of shooting that rifle. I really feel that Browning is one of those companies, much like Weatherby, that shouldn't have a cheap version of itself because I feel it cheapens the overall brand. Back in the day, Mercedes tried to get in on the entry-level Mercedes market by selling something called Mercedes 190Es, and Cadillac decided to do the same thing and come out with the Cadillac Catera, and they were just real low-quality versions of nothing with just their brand on it. You know what I mean? And they didn't sell well because people who want a Mercedes buy a Mercedes. People who want a Cadillac buy DeVille or Seville.
Yeah, and I feel like the only reason it's priced so high is because it has Browning stamped on the side of it. Like, I don't think you're getting $600 worth of rifle here. Some of their more higher end rifles and shotguns, sure. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I haven't played with too many of them, but I feel like a cheap rifle is a cheap rifle, no matter whose name is stamped on the side of it. And I don't see this being a $600 gun. Like,
so I've watched guys do the review on the full size version of this, and you listen to him. He goes, "Well, the action isn't really that smooth." So I'm like, I'm not getting a smooth action. I'm not getting a barrel with like R5 rifle or anything like that in it. So I'm not getting anything other than the Browning logo on it.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I'm
but
like,
that logo's worth something, right?
No, I can buy a sticker and stick it on the side of my high point and call it a Browning. What's the difference? But I find it, if you're a Browning fan and you want to spend extra just to get that Browning logo, but you're not getting the Browning quality. So you got a plastic trigger, you got plastic trigger guard, you got polymer everything. You don't have a special barrel. It doesn't come with an optic. All of which, for the same price, you can get almost everything in Ruger's American line or their American Rifle, American Predator line for this price. So why would I do this?
Because you like Browning?
Yep, that's exactly why.
I guess that's kind of my thing on it, man. I mean, I got a Savage with an Acu trigger that I paid far less than this for, and it came with a terrible, terrible optic, but it did come with one.
It came with an optic.
If you want to call it that. But I don't know. I feel like I said, I like short guns. I think this in 708 or 7mm08 would be an awesome, brushed deer gun. But I don't think it's worth this money. But again, I haven't shot it, so I mean, whatever.
And we're going by the MSRP, but still, it's kind of high for MSRP. I don't think it's really going to knock it down and become Ruger.
Yeah, even if you knock it down to $500 street price, you're still
even
high.
At 400 street price. I
know.
think you're high at 400.
Then also you have this, because you got the shorter overall length of pull. But I can go with some of the Mossberg MVPs with the adjustable stock and still get the same thing. Depends on what caliber you're going for. You know what I mean? Because they have the Mossberg in 308 and they also have them in 5.56. I mean, they have just those two. But still, it has an adjustable butt stock. It even has that flex adjustable stock so you can pick different sizes on. There are a lot of options out there that aren't Browning. I understand wanting to buy Browning quality, but if I want to buy Browning quality, I want to buy Browning actual quality, not just a logo.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. If I want to spend $600 on a shotgun or on a rifle, it's not going to be this one. If I want a cheap rifle, it's not going to be this one. And if I want a nice rifle, it's not going to be this one.
Yeah.
I think we all get what you're saying, Zane.
It just doesn't. It doesn't fit a niche anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't hit any of those categories, and it's like, well, what's up? I mean, again, I think sometimes companies buy into the fact that we're fill in the blank of the name of the company, and people are going to pay the extra money, and sometimes they hit, and sometimes it's a swing and a miss. And I'm thinking this is a swing and a miss for the price they're asking for nothing special. Absolutely nothing special. I mean, good on them for leaving out the optic that you most likely would have gotten rid of anyway, but you didn't drop the price after you left the optic off.
Exactly. Yeah, I kind of wondered when I put this in there. I'm like, this time of year, it's hard for me probably hard for anybody to find stuff to talk about because nobody's releasing anything. So I found this. I'm like, oh, there's something there. I saw the price. I'm like, oh, that's not going to be good for people.
I wonder what it is. I mean, obviously they do market research, but we've seen people make wrong calls before. And you're like, what were they thinking? And it's like,
exactly.
Who do you listen to? Because listen to everyone on the internet. People on the internet say all kinds of things, and then you can't get them to show up and do stuff, and you find out they don't really shoot either.
No, there's a market for everything, though. There's an XD with a hammer on it now, and people are buying it. So there's a market. Yeah. Look, there's a market for anything that you come out. There's pistol bayonets that are selling. So,
Well, what about the knife in the forward grip?
Oh, that
stop.
Abortion.
Stop. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think we said our piece with Browning, so now we're on to
Browning.
listener feedback, which we didn't really have any. So it's now time for Tony, and the second is for everyone diversity shoot.
Yeah. What's his name? Just hit me up on Instagram Messenger. Facebook Messenger. Matthew Dropko. I don't know if you guys heard of him. He sends listener feedback. Anyway, he was like, "Hey, has anyone heard about CMP and their 1911 sale ever going to happen?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's not what we do here, dude." But
I wish.
I haven't heard anything. I really wish they would. I really wish they'd cut loose all those M1s and M1 carbines and everything else in South Korea. That'd be awesome. But
last I heard that it was approved to happen, but there wasn't a timeline set yet. And I want to say Adam Kraut did a video on it on the Gun Collective. Well, on his legal brief. I think he did. I could be wrong on that. But I think there's a legal brief. There's something. He did something on CMP. I can't remember if it was the 1911s or not, but he did something on the CMP.
That'll work.
I mean, this has been a while back, so.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what's going on with that. Just wanted to put it out there since he did hit me up. Second is for everyone diversity shoot. We're going to kick off October 5th, Gun for Hire Range, Woodland Park. For a lot of people that listen to this every week, you might be wondering, what the heck is the second is for everyone diversity shoot? It's a workshop, Second Amendment workshop to welcome people from all races, backgrounds, genders, whatever you may be. You are welcome at this one. I don't care what you are, as long as you are a good human being and willing to sit down and hear from Second Amendment groups like the NRA, ILA, or New Jersey Second Amendment groups like CNJFO. Eat pizza, get free swag, win prizes in raffles, and shoot really cool guns like some of the 200 rental guns that are for free that night to people that come to our event. All you have to pay for is, of course, range ammo for the rental guns. Other than that, we'll share our guns with you. I'll have a lever action from Henry there. I'll also have probably my high point carbine there and some other stuff. Plus, other people have really cool guns. They had a really cool lightweight AR pistol there last time. My friend, that was Nick Wong, Alan Wong, no relation, showed up with a Tommy gun. Of course, Jersey legal, 16-inch barrel semi-auto. But still, it was pretty cool. So we have lots of cool guns there. We introduced people to guns for the first time there a lot. And if you ever want to think about getting different kind of firearms and you don't know what you want, again, we have 200 rental guns there for free that day. Also coming up soon in Lakewood, New Jersey at the Garden State Shooting Center. We're going to be there on October 18th. So if you can't make it to Gun for Hire Range or you live in South Jersey, we're going to be at Garden State Shooting Center on October 18th. So if you can't make one, make the other one. And also a Minuteman Challenge is coming up real soon. Join our Facebook page to find out when and what to bring. I'd like to thank everyone. And if you want to help us out, you can go to diversityshoot.com. We take donations there. And for a little while longer, because people asked for it, we came out with the black Diversity Shoot shirt. And you can buy that online right now for a little bit. And then we're changing it up because I'm getting with them and trying to design a shirt just for hurricane relief down in Houston. So that's what we're working on.
Wait a minute. What about Florida?
I don't know nobody in Florida. Keep it moving.
I was going to say also in the show notes, there is a link to Tony's webpage and Facebook page and Instagram. So he's covered if you want to go to the show notes.
Thank you.
So, yeah, no problem. In the wrap up, you send questions or comments to gungearreview@gmail.com, and I will probably get back to you fairly soon. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. I guess it helps us in people finding us. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage, mainly reviews, though. Check us out on Facebook at Firearms Insider and also Firearms Insider on Instagram, and we are out.
Bye, Felicia.